It's the girl Vasi. Welcome to In the Shack, where we talk about all things Junkanoo.
And I'm Michael Pateman, and we are once again here in the sixth time, and you'll hear me say it over and over because you know I'm a little trapsy. I like to trash talk, and I'm going to trash talk everywhere we go. But sixth time defending champions Platinum Night Shack, and I want to thank the Platinum Knights for allowing us to record here in the shack. Just remember, though, we're in a shack. Sometimes it gets loud. It's not going to stop us. We're going to keep going because they are working, getting ready for Junkanoo. And today our guest is, I don't want to call him famous or infamous, but I'll let him introduce himself.
Whatever you want to call me. Everybody
The infamous T-Boy.
Yes. My name is Philistine Saintel, a.k.a. T-Boy, known as Mr. PK.
Mr. PK. And he brought his championship belts with him today.
Yes, sir.
So before we get into this podcast, let's mention that today's podcast is sponsored by Maravilla Rum. And you can purchase Maravilla Rum either at the Bahamas Maritime Museum here in Freeport or at John Watlin's in Nassau. And also, we're drinking our 66 Steps from Sans. So thank you, Sans.
Thank you, Sans.
So now, T-Boy, I know you and Varsity have a long history, but and normally in the podcast, we ask people about themselves first. But see, we had a podcast,
Yes, sir.
and you got called out.
Okay.
And I just have to start with the you getting called out.
That's fine.
Because I love trash talking. Anybody who knows me from my sports days, yes, I was quiet and shy, but get me on the court, and I just whisper trash talk in your ear the whole time I play. So anyway, I've heard about this thing called the bet.
Yes, sir.
The bat.
The bet.
The bet.
And I want you to get a little closer to the mic because I don't want anything to be missed here.
Sure y'all could hear me nice and clearly.
So tell us about the bet, and I heard also I'm going to wait for you to talk about it, and then I'm going to add to it.
Okay. So, the bet, what you talking about? Is it the bet from the swingers
Yes.
Bella section leader, which is
What?
K'Ondre?
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know exactly which bet I'm talking about,
See, I
unless you
don't
have
know.
multiple
Now,
bets going on out
What you
there.
gotta understand is, you tell me a bet. There's a lot of bets out there.
Oh, all right. Well, let's
So
start
I
off with
just-
this one.
I
Let's,
just want to make sure which bet it is.
let's start off with this one.
This is a dangerous mind.
So yeah, so okay, that's how this come about. He just get into Junkanoo, you know, and I is a senior man, right? Now,
K'Ondre, sound like we might have to have you
So
back
what happened
on
is-
in the shack.
what happened was this, right? A Bella what he had, what was in the shack for 2 years, never had to do nothing to it, right? So we used to work. So I tell him, let's make a bet that I'll come out prettier than him. So he was like, hey, let me see if I can get my feathers first. I say, no, let's do it now. Because I say, I ain't even finished. I ain't even been mine yet. But I have 5 days to finish what I got to do. So he was like, he still didn't make a decision. Then he came back and said, hey, let's make the bet. I said, okay, we can bet a ball of Bel Air. Right? So with the ball of Bel Air, we bet. Come virtual. Now, mind you, I can tell you, he did look good.
And I've heard it's not only, I hear
he-
independent people have said he looked better
now-
than you.
Now, listen. Now, mind you, he did look good, right? Now, you got some haters, and you got some people who would tell you this. And now, I got a lot of people was out there by Phil. For what you bring out there, this was one of the prettiest pieces of there. So it's your word against everybody else. So
Okay.
I told him, I said, hey, because he was being rude, you know, he want to get out of character.
Man,
So-
that nice,
Yeah,
shy
so-
gentleman who's
so-
right here was
Yeah.
rude.
So what happened is now, and I told him now, I tell him, I said, everybody saying, boy, this good, that, this good, that. So it's like everybody arguing because when it's come to me, no matter how would I come on the road, but they can try to knock me down. That's why whenever I come on the road, I do the best I can. But like I tell him is this, he was pretty. I can take that away from him. But that wasn't his work. I did mine in the shop for 4 days.
Oh, that wasn't your work?
That wasn't his work.
Oh.
Now, he calling me out.
Oh,
so when he
boy.
called me out, I let him know. Hey, listen. I tell him, me and him had a discussion that night. When he upset me, he posted and say, T-Boy, I say, hey, let me tell you this. If you to do it, I'd tell you you win me or you beat me, right? But it wasn't his work. He was coach. He was coach.
So who worked at it?
It was coached by Otto.
I was about to say, don't tell me I'm varsity up
Listen,
him out there.
we gotta bring the names who getting called on the podcast.
And I think It sounds like the bet is not settled then.
Well,
Because I heard you haven't fulfilled your end of the bet.
Listen to me.
That's my little
I
part
did
I was
not
holding.
fulfill it. I did not. The reason why I can tell you again, it was
So he was coached.
as far as him doing what he do, he was coach. You know?
So now, did the bet say he had to do the work, you had to do the work?
That ain't what it was. But see,
No. So it sounds like you don't fulfill your.
What is
No.
the policy of
Okay.
the bet?
Yeah,
the
let's hear the policy on
the
your
policy,
side.
Who was the prettiest, right? But if this person telling me I was prettier, this person telling me I was prettier, I mean, for me, I ain't gonna never tell my, I ain't gonna never tell you you old shiny.
No, we know you ain't gonna do that.
You
though.
ain't gonna, I ain't gonna. But if somebody tell me this person telling me that, what you want me to do? So it's a bad way to the point I'd be like, wait, I don't know how to put it to say, okay, if you beat me.
All right. So, and we're gonna have to ask K'Ondre this later. Would you guys be willing to settle the bet, or would you be willing to settle the bet on a future episode of this podcast?
I mean,
I can consider myself an independent judge.
I need
You
the two
can't
of them.
judge. But
I
I
need
can
the
judge.
two of them to
But-
talk about the policy of the bet.
okay,
Yeah.
that's how I would like do it, right? As far as with the bet, I mean, if we want, we could go back to the drawing board. I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, start over.
Oh,
New bet.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Jesus.
So double or nothing.
I think we could triple it.
Triple or
Oh, hold on.
We could triple it.
All right.
So yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have to have an episode with you and K'Ondre so we could iron out the details of the bet, so that there's no reneging
Hey,
on
we
this
don't
bet.
need them fighting the week
Nah, bro.
over these policies what wasn't set. Because
Yeah, we go row every day the week. When I see him, I say, boy, listen, you better stop. Ain't no, you gotta behave yourself. See, you're just getting in the Junkanoo. Just humble yourself.
oh Lord. But the one thing that's saying something if you just get in the jungle,
And he looked prettier than
like
you.
you say,
No.
just get in the jungle.
And sometimes,
That's another thing I think gotta be settled because I keep hearing the just get into. What is just get into?
okay, he's my student.
Oh,
Okay, he's my student. So I trying to get my student out there to put himself out there.
So how you let your student go to a different group?
how you
he
let
was-
your
he
student
was
beat
never-
you?
No, he was never a platinum knight. Before, like I said, I knew him from a little while, and I always used to ask him. He's like, he could ring bell, and I was like, hey, you welcome here. What you can do? But see, because everybody want to be platinum knights. See, he want to go where he could be in a spotlight.
But also his brother was. Yeah, so I could understand why he went to the swingers, but I can say it again. We need to have the two of you on one episode.
That's no problem.
We could iron out the details of the bet.
We need the policy to
Decide
be
who
printed
can
out.
judge on the bet because I heard from independent people, they said he looked prettier than you.
But like I say, everybody have their
You chopsy, why?
So
I cannot knock for how people feel.
so that's why we got to decide on who can judge
now,
this.
see,
So y'all
just
live
now.
by the.
Listen.
And see, I'll judge, but I have to get a share of the bet.
But that's what I'll have to do as well. He also had another bet
Oh,
with another
Lord.
platinum knights with the best Bella. You know what I mean? So he can need to come to the drawing board too because he didn't pay that bet. He ain't talk that.
Oh, you did not talk
He talk
that?
He
everything.
ain't talk that
He
one.
talk everything, but he ain't talk what the Pink Panther did to
Oh,
I ain't gonna lie, those Pink Panthers was pretty.
Thank you.
And
Beautiful,
one of the
yeah.
things that we started this Unmasking Junkanoo last year. Didn't really do what I needed to do, but I was just looking at those Pink Panthers from they started going up because I've been able to go in a lot of the group shock, and I really appreciate you guys letting me in. I hold your secrets
Yeah.
until the parade, but I'd walk into another group shock and I saw the King Bellas costumes, and I was just like, no. Not when those Pink Panthers was one of
Yeah,
the
they was-
prettiest things I've ever seen
Yeah,
in
they was-
Junkanoo.
they was awesome.
From the King Bellas to the front, all the way to the back. That whole back line, well, actually, the whole music section.
Yeah.
Was that Pink Panther? That was
but
was
you
just
know that was
beautiful.
a concept. It's a concept in Nassau with colors that use just one color and simplicity. So I think being able to see that displayed in Freeport, just showing you different ways you could actually win the bet.
But I mean, yeah. So I mean, Varsity says something key there. A lot of people think sometimes to look good, you have to have lots of colors.
Right.
I mean, basically, that whole music section was pink.
Yeah, just
There a
pink.
little bit of color was there, but it was just pink, and that looks so good. I would have loved to see how that would have competed with
Right.
some of the Nassau groups in terms of costuming, because that was just outstanding. And I really look forward to actually see how PK tops that, because I mean, if you want to be 7-time defending champions, you got to keep
Oh.
topping yourself.
And that's what we do.
The top up. But
That's
this is what I really want to know. So T-Boy, you are a free dancer, right?
Yes.
Have you done anything else other than free dancing? That's a two-part question. And then we all know you bring energy, right? So where does that come from?
Well, first of all, I was a drummer. Like I said,
What kind of drummer?
I was a tum-tum drummer. Like I said, I started like basically everybody started from the Harbor Boys. You know, I
Everybody
started.
started
Once
from the Harbor
again,
Boys?
another Harbor Boy. It sounds
Yes.
like
Big
every
shout out to
young-
Mikey.
Shout out to Mikey.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Right.
Like he was like I said, he was a father figure. Because
And-
I used to live in Pineyard Rush.
Thank you to the family once again for us
Yes.
allowing us to interview him as part of the Unmasking Junkanoo
Right.
documentary. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad we did it because unfortunately he did pass away recently.
Yes, and that's the GOAT. He will always be a GOAT, and he will always be remembered. Because, like I said, it's a lot of the young people, like when we was in Pinder's Point, that he took us under his wing and bring us to the Shark and try to teach us stuff and for us to understand, like, hey, this Junkanoo is life, you know. And I realized I use Junkanoo as far as like, it's just motivate me to a different standard.
Okay.
And you said also, as being a free dancer, I bring the energy. Like how that come out of me? Like for me, it's like Junkanoo is passion for me.
Right.
I love Junkanoo. I think if I could get married to Junkanoo, I'll do it. I believe that's.
So it sounds like when you get married,
Don't
you're
lose
gonna have
that
to have
bet.
Junkanoo at
Yeah.
your.
So see, with Junkanoo, I don't think Junkanoo will ever leave me. I could get married and she could walk away, but Junkanoo ain't gonna ever leave me because that in me.
So you hear that, young ladies
on
out
now,
there? If
hold
you're
on.
kind of interested in the T-boy over here,
on, y'all see this
he might
bottle?
he might walk away from you, but Junkanoo is his life. So just
Y'all see
remember
this
that.
bottle?
Junkanoo is my passion because sometimes like you feel like in the month of December when I supposed to take vacation to travel or go and enjoy my time off from work because I don't really take vacation until December. But what I do
We've
is
got to get ready for Junkanoo.
yeah,
He's an
what I
old
do
Junkanoo
is-
conch.
Like I say, so what I do is the vacation what I have. If I take the whole month is like I never left work. It's like if I'm home to the shop, I leave in here 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. All I do is go home, bed, get something to eat, and I right back here again. Because like I said, that's the love I have for Junkanoo. So yeah.
So would you say Junkanoo is a way of life?
Yes, it is. It helped a lot because sometimes you could be going through some things. The Junkanoo music itself, being in the shack and just being in the corner and doing your work and listening to it's like it calm you down. It calm you down, like keeping you from being out there. And like I say, Junkanoo shack is the life for me.
The Junkanoo is therapeutic.
Yes.
So how old were you when you first got in Junkanoo?
I probably started Junkanoo like when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old.
And this once again with the Harbor Boys.
Yes, sir.
So what is your earliest memory of you in Junkanoo?
My earliest memory I could remember. But it's been a little while. It's been a while. Like my earliest, I could only remember when I first started off. I didn't know anything.
You think he was throwing bets back then?
No, around that time, I was like really just starting to get into Junkanoo. Junkanoo wasn't something I was like, okay. I always used to see groups in the bazaar, like it was in a bazaar, and I used to be like, what it takes to join a group. I thought it was like you had to pay money and stuff like that
Oh,
until
okay.
I find out like, hey, once you could do an instrument or whatever, and then that's how, like I said, with Mikey and I reached out to him, and he's like, hey, whatever you want to do, we could teach you, and we could go from there.
And that's so you started with the Tum Tum.
I started with Dum Dum.
And what did you stay with Tum Tum for a while or?
Yeah, I've been on it for a decade. I just decided to give it up at least. The last time I give it up ever since I came to Platinum Nights.
What was the reason?
The reason was like I just wanted to go into something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so did you go into
You wanted to wear
freelancing or
your
did you
belt.
move?
Well,
in
at first I was doing off the shoulder, which
Okay.
is the big costumes, and everybody know. Ain't no one could step up to my challenge. I was one of the best.
All right,
You
so
know, I'll say the one man that I always used to look up to, and he'll always be remembered as Plus. Plus was one of the best off the shoulder here in Freeport, which is he
Okay.
was a swinger. You know, and I always my thing was just try to figure like what he was doing. How could I compete with him? Then I figure it out, and I like, you know what, I see what he's doing, and that's how I end up trying to elevate my standard as far as like when I do off the shoulder.
all right, so you said you were the best because you said it.
Well, I am.
All right, you are the best,
Yes.
but no, you don't do off the shoulder anymore. So,
No.
do you have any first place? Not for the group, but for you.
Yes.
To prove that you were the best.
Well, I have Yeah, I got first place. I got first, I got second, I got third, I got fourth.
So it sounds like you were only the best once.
Yeah, so every
Oh,
with
jeez.
5 fingers, I have place in all 5 fingers. But I can move one. I can move just one because five don't count. So I could hold these four. I have place in all of
No,
them.
you could only hold one because second is the first
But
loser.
You know
but at the
what?
same time, you still have a plaque for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So why'd you decide to move from off the shoulder into free dancing?
Well, I moved from it because, like I said, I just try to do things different. Like before, I call it quits, but I don't know if it when that gonna happen. But I just want to be part of everything that happened in the jungle. I always thought about like even like next year I was planning like I said, but this might be my last one as far as free dancer, and I think I'm gonna go on a better line.
Oh, so
Because
you
I
could
have,
actually have a
yeah,
Bella
so,
bet?
so I have somebody I need
Lord.
to come after. Since he trying to make a name for himself, so I gotta take him down. And he know who that is, and that's K'Ondre. So since I know he's a good Bella, I ain't gonna take that away from him.
Yeah, he is a good
he's
Bella.
a good Bella, you know what I mean? But he just gotta elevate his costume a little more. Then he'll be alright.
Even though T-Boy lose the bet, oh Lord.
Well, no, see, he claiming that he didn't lose the
He
bet.
didn't lose
He
it.
said it was the
Null
opinion
and
of
void.
some that he won and the opinion of others that he
Null-
lost.
null and void.
So that's why on this podcast, the future one,
Yes,
we
sir.
are going to determine how this bet is going to be won. And I volunteer as judge because I want some of whatever product is. You have
But
to
it
get
was
the-
only a ball of Bella, so
yeah,
it wasn't nothing.
yeah,
it wasn't
well, I
nothing
got to
major.
have a shot of it. I mean, the judge got to get his payment, you know. And I could be impartial, even though I like to throw my trash talk.
Yeah, that's fine. I know how that is.
But no, I got to have both of you
This is
here.
a dangerous
'cause
one.
I won't hear nothing, that I'm biased or whatever. So we can decide on all aspects of the bet right here. And we'll have plenty of witnesses because hopefully by then we actually have some fans watching this podcast.
Yes,
So
sir.
tell us, what does it take to be a male freelancer? We don't have as much male freelancers as we should have. And you know, Freeport is still a growing community when it comes to Junkanoo. So what does it take to be a male freelancer?
I mean, like I say, I love Junkanoo. You know, I love Junkanoo with a passion. So I don't, as being a male free dancer, I mean, it's like, I just love doing it because I don't look on the outside of what people think. What I do for me. I know who I am, as far as like being out there doing a free dance. Like, but for me, it's just I love it. I love it. Like from when I hear that music kick off, it's like I don't remember who around me. So sometimes I move around, even sometimes I just need the space and stuff. So when that music kick off, like I don't, I it's like I just wanna put a show for the audience, for the fans, and give them the best what I could. So whatever I leave out there, I leave it out there, and I don't look back from it.
How important is it as a free dancer to interact with the crowd? Because we have a lot of persons that, you know, just coming into Junkanoo don't understand the crowd is where you gotta be. You understand? So explain to us how important that is for you.
It is very important because, like I said, without the fans and the crowd, there's no Junkanoo. So
Right.
we give them what they want, you know. So it's like if I see them and I mean, you could see them dancing. You ain't like you gotta like point out or look at them, but they
Right.
could see the energy what you bring because once you put that energy out there, that's what people want to come out there and see. You just can't come on the boulevard and just marshal and like walking around. You know what I mean? It's like you have like once you love Junkanoo, give the people what they want. Because the more they interact with Junkanoo, the more people we can get. Hey, this group is fun. They just come out to have a good time. They just rush to the ground. They'll rush you. They just bring a good costume. So for me, that's just how, like, for me, it's just about the fans and the audience and the
Right.
followers. And that's how I look at it.
So it's interesting also. I like what you said about making sure you are interacting with the fans because while I know a lot of people who do Junkanoo don't do it for the fans, they do it for themselves, which is really important also. Junkanoo survives also because of the fans and
Right.
us coming out and supporting and watching the parade. But one of the things I notice about you as a free dancer is if you're not working, you're at practice.
Yeah.
And I've seen in my short time in Freeport that a lot of free dancers and all the groups,
Yeah,
they don't come to
they don't
practice.
come out.
As a freelancer, how important is it, do you think, for you to to practice and participate in the practice?
It's very important. The reason why it's very important, so you could get familiar with everybody around you. Meaning, as for example, like for me, is as long I'm off, I will be there. Because like
Walking
I said,
around with his belts.
yes, walking around with these championship belts. But
Right.
so for me, it's very important, and that's why sometimes even like in the chat, we have a chat of our free dancers. I just ask them, please just come out.
Right.
The support being there is very important. You can't wait till the parade. That's the time you come in, and then we having a problem like, okay, this person be here, that person be there. You know what I mean? So for me, is if you love Junkanoo, I don't care what it takes. Once you go into war with your group, I don't care what it takes.
It's
You
wartime.
will be there. You will support your group because at the end of the day, you can't just come on the sideline and just watching.
Right.
I rather just be on the line, put my sweat out there, put my that's a good workout
Right.
Oh yeah.
because you can't just go on the boulevard like you don't rush, you don't do nothing if you ain't exercising, but yet you just go on
No
the,
energy.
you going on the line
No energy.
and you just and listen to me, that ain't left.
Right,
See,
right.
a lot of people think free dance is like, oh, I could just go there and rush.
Right.
When you have on costume,
that stamina.
that's more weight. So you have to be able to be in shape and take the road up.
Yeah.
You know. So when I step on that road, I can tell you one thing: I don't stop until I reach to the. When I reach round, that's when I stop. So I lay it all out there for my group.
Now, that's the number one question that I know a lot of persons struggle with, even as a freelancer myself. But I'm gonna ask you this one: what qualifies a free dancer to be in the front of the scrapers, which is basically in the front of the brass, in your opinion?
Okay. As far as what a qualified, which is that's more like in the music section.
Right.
Okay, and you got the music, you got the free dancers where you could be in the front of the brass, and you got another set of section that could be to the front of the girls.
Choreograph.
In front of the choreograph.
Choreograph dancers.
The qualified for me is this. One, you can't carry a big costume if you're in a
Right.
back there. Then when you look at it as far as with a big costume, and then you need people with energy, because in a back there is where the energy is. Now, what I just tell most of the free dancers, not everybody could be in the back there, but if you want to have a chance to compete or to go there and say, boy, I want to win, because I ain't gonna be doing free dance just to say I want to do it just to do it.
Right.
I want to be remembered of whatever I do. So
Right.
if I could go there and win, I can win. But as far as like you say, your question is, what it is to qualify? Like for you, like I said, you have to have the energy, being here on time, being part of the group, and putting in your work.
Right.
You can't have people who not yet because they've been to the group for 10 years, 15 years, but everybody, they find their time to come out there.
And then they just show up to the parade.
And then when they show up to the parade, you can't tell them go to the front. It's not
Right.
fair. You know what I mean? But everybody cannot go in the bar. So that's why I tell all the free dancers, hey, show up. Show what you could do. And let's go from there. Now, I know some of the sections, they go in the front. That's your opportunity right there to win. Because the
Right.
judges could judge you
They
more
could see you.
easier. But when you're in the back there, for example, let's say me, Junior, and other people's, we there, we fed up. The judge ain't coming to walk through, to look at your
Right.
costume. Because you know why? They don't want to get hit with they don't want to get whopped or because at the end of the day, not because the judge coming, I must stop.
Right.
Because they ain't gonna come walk through you.
Well, part of it is performance also. You
Performance.
get judged on
Boom.
performance.
So that's and that's all our best performance. Yeah, that's our best performance is be in the back there. But I'm not saying everybody don't perform. But
Right.
please try to get the ones with the energy that can also present good costumes.
Right. And I know you made a point, and you said that the person's in the front because, coming up to the parade time, a lot of groups are doubling down on who is allowed to be in the back, who they putting in the front.
Yeah.
What do you say to the persons that are going to end up in the front? And, a lot of persons feel like it's discouraging because they might have been showing up and things like that,
Yes,
but they end up in the front.
Yeah.
So what can you say to the freelancers that are going to end up in the front? I guess to encourage them, what are the benefits of being in the front? I know you mentioned one saying that they're going to be able to be seen.
Yeah. So what I'd encourage them and tell them and say, listen, at the end of the day, if you have passion for Junkanoo, it don't matter where they put you.
Right.
So if I have to go in the front, I'll do it. If I don't want to sabotage the group,
How much rum you gotta drink to be in the front to hallucinate this music?
You don't need that. Listen to me. As long you love Junkanoo music.
Naughty boy, you know Platinum Nights get 1,000 members.
Yeah, but say you guys are a little bit big.
Yeah.
When you at the front of your
It's a
group,
big group.
you don't hear that music. Now
It's
some
a
of the
big
other
group.
groups,
I
yeah.
think you can hear it, but you ain't gonna get no.
barely.
You can hear it, but you ain't gonna get that rhythm.
The drum.
Yeah,
You don't get that.
You ain't get that bass. That
So, what do you think is going to be the solution? We talking about Junkanoo in general
Yeah.
now. We ain't even just talking about Platinum Nights and
I know. That's
whatever.
not Platinum Nights. I understand.
Do you think that they should get some speaker or something for people that so you ain't gotta imagine that you hear and you think you hear something? You understand? You ever see people in the front and they just
Yeah.
dancing on there?
I mean, it's a good question, to be honest with you. I never really look into it, but sometimes when I go back and look at the video, I just see people out there. But like I said, you could just,
Just imagining music.
yeah, so you just only got to imagine the music. But I
Had the music in your head.
But I sure at least 40% they could hear the music. But it's not like how they want to hear it. But now I can tell you that's not obvious. You get 1, 2 shots, 3 shots. You can forget about that.
Hey, cartwheels on the boulevard.
Well,
I can tell
hey,
you that.
hopefully this year you take a few shots of Maravilla rum beforehand.
Y'all know what it is.
It's a new rum,
It's a
bringing
new
it to
rum.
Junkanoo too.
Bringing it to Junkanoo, you know.
But yeah, that was a genuine question because, like I say, a lot of people posing the question. Even if you're doing backflips on the line, you might still end up in the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you gotta be friends with the Bonner boys and things like that.
No, but see, but now remember now with
You
the
gotta-
Bonner boys,
you
the
gotta
Bonner
give
boys
out
all the way to the
candy.
front. They all the way to the front. So, but like I say with the free dancers that in the back of the Bonner, like I said to me, it's like, I mean, some people don't really they don't really bother them. I mean, some of them love it. I mean, some of them is be like, hey,
I know some people is be talking about it, they little sip. You know what? You have a lot of people that become so complacent and they don't like it, you know.
no,
You know. But like you say, I guess it's about the energy. You know what I mean? What it is you bring in, what work you putting in. And so I guess that's the job of a free dancer.
well, I'll say for me, like I say, I feel like you just gotta get your best 12. Get your best 12, put there. At the end of the day, that can come down to the section leaders, and then we present it to the leaders. Say,
To the
hey,
leaders.
this what we going with, and this what we gonna have to stand by.
Right.
Now, who don't like it, there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
Everybody cannot be in the back there.
Yeah.
And then if you have a newcomer, all of a sudden they want to be in the back there. It cannot work like that.
Right.
We didn't have our number. Like let's say we can line up 12. This is the 12 we're going with for every year. Unless somebody don't rush, then hey, we could fill that person with another person. So if once we right now, that's like I say, that's why for like all the Junkanoos out there, everybody cannot be in the back.
Right.
So Varsity mentioned something interesting about complacency. So little word on the street I'm hearing is everybody saying Platinum Nights is a little complacent this year.
Oh, Lord, hold on. I ain't swallow my bell.
Oh,
I always gonna drink a little bit myself.
okay, drink a little bit first and then you can come back to that. So as I said, the word I'm hearing on the street is Platinum Nights is complacent this year. What do you say to that? Are you going for number 7 or are you
Well,
guys
I-
resting on 6?
We ain't no resting on 6. You know, the thing is, like I said, the hype is. I love it. You know what I mean? Swingers have something to prove. Rockers got something to prove.
Yeah.
The classes, dancers have something to prove, and young generation, new generation, however they put it, they got something to prove. You know what I mean? But like I said, we sitting down on 6. You know, everybody want what we have. We don't want what they have. They want us. We don't want them. So in other words, it's like they got to bring their best. You know, every day I trash talking with some swingers, rockers. They going at me, but like I told them, that's why I have this title.
So we'll just say if you lose this parade, are you handing that title off to somebody or is that yours to go in retirement?
Well, what I can do is,
What I can do.
I can't do.
You sound like this might need to be another bet.
I don't have a problem. Let me tell you something. I don't have a problem. Like I could use this for the Junkanoo World in Freeport. Meaning as if they win, I could hand this over.
The undisputed.
Undisputed. No, but they can't get the undisputed until they reach where we reach. They can get the title.
Oh, Lord, he moving the
That's the title.
goalpost.
This the undisputed.
That sound like the bet now.
Yeah.
This the undisputed.
Oh,
That's the
keep
title. They can
moving.
get this one.
But this
Then-
one have PK all over it.
But they could come off. Yeah, but then they could do what they want to do with it. Like I said, if anybody win, I could hand this over to them.
So
But
if
they
you
just gotta
win,
take it off.
if you win, you can't us to wake with you.
Well, if I win, I mean, ain't no if. I will win.
Oh, okay.
So they will always be on my shoulder. They ain't coming off anytime soon.
I can't I can't take the boy serious, right? But here's the thing. What advice do you have to the other groups that are looking at the group and wanting to be in that position? What do you, from your observation, what errors do you think they have been making that they could improve?
Well, I don't wanna.
You don't give away all your
You
secrets
can help
too.
them out, man.
I can't really call on some groups, but I can tell you what I see is this. For me, it's this. I see a half. The reason why I was so confident in Platinum Nights and what we bring to the table, we just do our homework and we just get our work done. See, everybody thinking that, okay, we got this, we got no. We here as an individual, once we get our costume, we battle against ourselves in the shop. She should be well fed.
And you should hear I don't know if you can hear
She
the
should be
activity
aware of
behind
it,
us.
where
There's
to the
activity
point that
going on
even
in
when
this
she
shack
here,
now.
we'll talk about each other and we just fight amongst ourselves. So once we put what we put in the shop, we didn't know when we get up there, we can do damage. So my thing to the other groups out there is you gotta finish. You gotta finish and you gotta present your team and you gotta bring it on the road. See,
That's a good one.
the problem is majority of the groups, they so focused on certain individual. Like I'll call it the swingers. They so focused on winning music. That's all they thinking about. When I was at the Rockers, you know what the Rockers used to do? Once we went off the shoulder, they feel like we win the parade. That ain't all about. It's
Okay,
within the
so as a
shop.
whole,
So as a group, as a unit, like the brass bragging and oh we beat y'all, that's fine. I ain't in the music. I ain't in the music. But if my group win music, boy, listen to me. I sitting up there. But what more important to me is
The overall.
It's the overall.
Yeah.
okay.
And even I've seen it in your shack where, as you guys start building and pasting your big costumes, yes, one person builds the costumes, but different people pace them. And I see the competition in the shack amongst them, like, oh, I'm gonna win number
Yes.
one. And I think at the last parade, you guys got 1, 2, 3, 4
Yes.
in those costumes.
Yeah.
So I see the competition even in PK Shack, and I don't know if because it took me a while to get some of the trust of the other groups. I'm just kind of curious, do they have that same level of competition? Because you gotta beat the best to be the
Yeah,
best.
healthy. I think healthy competition within the group comes from more of pride, but I think the other groups have to be more aware that this what happening, and I think things like the podcast is gonna expose that, where you get to see what the mindset of different group members on the island. Because we really focusing a lot on Freeport Junkanoo, seeing that we're not able to have these open conversations as much as we should, on a platform like this. And I think the podcast and the documentary is going to bring it to light, and it's going to help other Junkanoo groups to understand, the pros and cons of the Junkanoo groups.
Yeah.
I agree.
So T-Boy, as we wrap up, we started with the bet, and we're gonna end with the bet.
Yes, sir.
Any final words you want to say to your brother?
Well-
Because we are bringing the two of you. I don't know how we
Like
doing
I
it, but
say-
the two of you are gonna sit down and we hammering this thing out on a future episode of this podcast.
Yeah, so like I say, I mean, for where he come from, like I say, I really proud of him.
But he's still a junior man.
Yeah, he's still under me, and like I say, it can take him a while before he can get there. But like I say, I'm proud of him, where he came from to what he doing today. I ain't gonna take nothing away from him, but he have to understand. There's still a big hustle there, and until you get up there, until you could win something, until you get put out there, like you have something you could hold in your hand, you gotta sit small, brother.
Sit small.
Sit small until your name called. I mean, your name little ringing. Oh yeah, boy, he's on a better line. That's the best you could get. Costume wise, just stay out of it. I'm telling you that now. Don't do it. But you're doing good. I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. But just be prepared for Karas again. That's all. That's all we give them.
So with that,
Yes, sir.
we're gonna do our
A short
tradition.
time.
It's short time.
I will make sure put it here, because winners is the winners love it to the rim.
I ain't getting out to the room.
No, no. You gotta put it to the big boys on.
Get your glass, Farsi. All right, so T-Boy, as our guest,
Yes,
you
sir.
have
I
to
will.
lead our toast.
I will lead our toast.
Yes, nice and small.
And remember, you can get the Maravilla rum at the Bahamas Maritime Museum here in Freeport or at John Watlin's in Nassau.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. Hopefully, this broadcast will open up a lot of eyes and know how people feel about the Junkanoo, the questions we've been asked, and stuff like that. So I appreciate the time and the effort you all take to come sit here at Platinum Night Shark to discuss the Junkanoo Parade. And I just want to take a toast to the Platinum Nights with going for 7 straight. Again, like Jojo say, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but we going for the 7. That's why, like I can say to you all again, if I challenge in any one of them, swingers, rockers, that's the last chance. The contract will be available from the 1st of January to the 5th. Come sign it if you want to fight. Because listen to me, Platinum Nights ain't going down, and you all think we can give you all the title just like that. Now, this is undisputed. This is a world championship belt. This undisputed. I just want you all to know. If I have to fight on 2 y'all, then I willing to do it. The undisputed mean 2 against 1. Let me see what you all got. Because let me tell you all this, if you all don't get the job done, I calling out Saxon, I calling out the Valley, and I calling out
Which
one
valley?
family.
Which valley? Because two now.
I don't worry about which valley it is. We can take our talent to Nassau because honestly, I need somebody who could take this from me. I've been holding this for 6 years. 6 years. You see how long this is? Please, you all step your all game up and try to give us a fight, please. Because if you all don't, I know what else to say. We toasting the Platinum Nights 6 straight and hope everybody have a good Junkanoo Parade. July 20, not July.
January.
12th.
9th.
9th, sorry. 9th. Wish everybody the best. May the best man win. Thank you. Yes.
I gotta make a run.
I just want you all to
Well,
know.
once again, we'd like to thank the Platinum Knights for letting us have our podcast here in
I
their
just want
shack.
you all to know. 6 straight, eh? We going for 7. Undisputed. Championship belt.
All right.